How are we doing, guys? Leeds 3, Blackburn 2, and this is my review of the game. I apologise in advance for it being a little bit late out. This is also going to be a preview of the Hull game as well. Basically, I was straight off to a family party after the game. I was at the game yesterday, but I had to get straight in the car and off to the family party in Wigan yesterday, so I didn't quite have time to film the match review yesterday. So today, I'm going to film the Blackburn review and the Hull preview all in one video. It just makes sense, really. So you might have noticed straight away the setup is a little bit different. This is a new sort of backdrop, and to be honest, my thinking behind this was that moment behind there, Jermaine Beckford winning against Bristol Rovers, my finest ever moment as a Leeds fan. You know, I think anyone sort of my age and younger would probably agree with that. There's not been many fine moments. I was thinking maybe Beckford at the Stretford end, but this one compares to absolutely nothing. This moment was just absolutely incredible. Bristol Rovers 2-1, Jermaine Beckford winner, and this man to the here. Johnny Howson scored a fucking incredible goal in that game as well, made an unbelievable impact as well. A real top, typical Johnny Howson, big moment performance. So this is the backdrop. Let's get on with the review of the game. So absolutely incredible stuff. We're going to start with the team we went with. You know, I've calmed down a little bit now. It's a little bit after the game. It's probably about just under 24 hours after the match. So I've calmed down a little bit since it happened. So the team we went with 4-1-4-1 as usual. Bailey Peacock-Farrell, Luke Ayling right back, Pontus Jansson, Calvin Phillips centre backs, Barry Douglas back in at left back, Adam Forshaw in the holding midfield role, Eshton Alioski on the right, Matthias Glick, Pablo Hernandez in the centre, and Jack Harrison got another start on the left hand side and Kemal Roof through the middle. And to be honest with you, we didn't start the game quite as well as we usually would. You know, it wasn't really the most fastest start to the game. You know, we were using the ball quite well. We were combining quite well out wide. You know, on the right hand side, Luke Ayling was combining well with Eshton Alioski. Barry Douglas was combining well with Jack Harrison, but nothing was really happening in those sort of first 20 minutes or so. You know, we were trying to get the ball out the back, and we were getting caught a couple of times out the back. You know, sometimes we were trying to be a little bit too clever. You know, it sometimes happens. You know, I think Blackburn pressed us quite well in that first sort of 20-25 minutes, and they didn't really create anything either. You know, I thought we had control of the game, just weren't quite creating or arriving into the box quite as often as we normally would. You know, Blackburn were pressing quite well, and their only real opportunities or sort of openings were coming from us making an error, you know, in sort of pressing that lot. You know, pressing the back four quite well, but we get ourselves a goal. You know, the goal we get is a really good goal. You know, it's a bit lucky, maybe, I guess, to an extent, but brilliant ball off Barry Douglas with his right foot. He feeds Jack Harrison on the left-hand side. You know, Jack Harrison's a great timing of the run. He completely gets away from their full-back. Good ball into the box. He gets into a dangerous area, and he gets that look he deserves. You know, it's an own goal, but he put the ball into that kind of area. It's an impossible cross to defend. Anything can happen on it. You can go over, slice it over the bar, you can slice it straight out, or it can go in the back of the net. Anything can happen with that, or it could land to one of our lads' feet. And it's a good goal, really, you know, from our point of view. Maybe it's got a little bit lucky, but when you move the ball as quickly as we did, those kind of things happen. We get ourselves a goal, and after that, you know, I think Jack Harrison especially, the confidence, you really saw the confidence grow in Jack Harrison. You know, he was trying to take on his fullback a lot more often, he was combining a lot better, he was working harder, he was pressing better. Everything aspects of Jack Harrison's game improved, and it shows what confidence does to a player. You know, no more so than it did sort of in that first half of Jack Harrison. I thought his first 20 minutes compared to sort of his last 20-25 minutes was absolutely chalk and cheese. It was totally different. But yeah, we arrived a lot more into the box. We got a lot more passing moves, you know, going. It was one touch, two touch. I thought that the last sort of 20-15 minutes of that first half were excellent. You know, I thought we probably could have got ourselves a second goal and been out of sight. You know, Eshton Alioski has a fantastic effort, hits sort of the crossbar, bounces back onto the goal line. It's unlucky. He has one from distance, which is a really good save off David Raya because it was moving. It was a really well struck shot of Eshton Alioski, and I thought Eshton Alioski in that first half was very lively, one of our best players in that first half. Maybe he did fade a little bit in the second half, but it was a lot more encouraging, I felt. You know, he sort of continued sort of the similar sort of aspects to his Aston Villa performance. He was trying to take on his fullback more, get more crosses into the box, get more shots off. He was able to cut in onto that left-hand side, and it was a lot more impressive. I thought it worked a lot better than Eshton Alioski being on the left-hand side. But yeah, David Raya, just to go on to David Raya for Blackburn, I mean, he's a player I know a lot about. He played from a local club, Southport, about 4 or 5 years ago when he was early into his development. I could see what a fine shot stopper he was then. Absolutely top bloke. I've seen some absolutely fantastic games from him, and it's no surprise for me to see him star in a game like that. You know, he was fantastic in the Ewood Park game, made a brilliant save of Matthias Glick late on. And yesterday, I think he made at least 4 or 5 world-class saves, which I'll go on to later on in the video. And he's just an absolutely outstanding shot stopper. And I'll be honest with you, I said after the game to the old man, let's just sign him. Let's just sign him. You know, he's absolutely fantastic, and I thought some of the saves he pulled off were absolutely incredible. And he was unlucky to be on the losing team, really. But yeah, first half we probably could be going in a little bit more comfortable. 1-0, I felt we were comfortable enough, but could have been a little bit more comfortable. Second half, we made the worst possible start. You know, at the time when the penalty was given, I didn't think it was a penalty. I saw it the second time, and it probably was. I think Luke Ayling has arrived a little bit late, and it probably is a foul. You know, sometimes you see him not given, sometimes you see him given. It probably is a penalty, if I'm being totally honest. I have to see it again, but I don't really want to over-review that. Penalty was given. Charlie Mulgrew scores, and then at the end, that really does make it a bit more difficult. You know, Blackburn can sit in, can play on that counter-attack. It gives Blackburn that little bit more belief. You know, they get themselves a goal at Ellen Road, a bit more belief, can play on that counter-attack, and felt, you know, sort of after that, I felt we got nervous. You know, with the change of Jack Harrison came off, Jack Clark came on, got a bit more lively on the right-hand side, because Jack Harrison massively faded in that second half, I felt. You know, saw Adrian LUFC move on to the left, Jack Clark on the right. A little bit different to the Villa game, where we had Jack Clark on the left, Alioski on the right, Custon inside. We tried to keep it as wide as possible to stretch that Blackburn defence a little bit more, because they sort of tried to sit in a little bit more than Villa. They gave us a lot more respect, I think, than Villa. You know, they sort of tried to play a bit more for two banks of four. Dak and Graham just sort of like, Dak was a little bit more of a attacking midfielder rather than a striker, but it felt like two banks of four, like a 4-4-1-1 they changed it into. They brought Harrison Reid on as well on that right hand side. He did a really, really good job of covering sort of the threat of Barry Douglas overlapping on that left hand side. I thought he sort of pins Barry Douglas back a little bit more. And it was good tactically off Tony Mowbray, I have to say, and it sort of really did sort of, the game just didn't quite have that same kind of momentum to it after that. Blackburn then, I can't really think of anything too dramatic after that really. When they made it 1-1, we made the substitutions. Jamie Shackleton came on for Luke Ayling, you know, sort of fresher legs. Jamie Shackleton better going forward, I'd probably make an argument for as well. Maybe he's a bit more suitable to that game, so he can take on a fullback. He's got that little bit more pace, dribbling ability, etc., etc. We had that chance, I think, of Pablo Hernandez crossing the ball into the box. Kemal Roof header, brilliant save. It was a bit like the first goal really, but it was a good save off David Raya. And that's the only real chance I think we created until Blackburn scored. You know, it sort of took Blackburn scoring for us to really, really react, and got to give full credit to us. But that second goal Blackburn got was really, really disappointing for me. You know, really, really disappointing. You know, I've criticised Bailey Peacock-Farrell. You know, I've been reading the comments. Maybe I do criticise Bailey Peacock-Farrell too much, but I will always try and give the lads credit whenever I can. You know, I thought last season he was superb. Start of this season he started well. He's had some superb game for us, but now I'm starting to think maybe we've got to be looking to move on here. Maybe we've got to, you know, not move on. Move on's the wrong word. You know, I think he's fine as a second choice, someone who can sort of learn off a first choice experienced keeper. I think that's definitely the way I sort of see it. You know, I don't think he's quite ready to be first choice for, you know, in this kind of situation. You know, in previous seasons when there's less pressure on games, he probably is more suited to it. But I think now when any mistake he makes is going to really, could be costly in sort of the tight margin games like we're playing at the minute. It can really be costly. But second goal, it's a lot like the Wigan goal. He's just giving Charlie Mulgrew 2/3 of the goal to aim at. You know, and Charlie Mulgrew can hit a free kick. I think he got like 15 goals last season from centre back for Blackburn, pretty much all from set pieces as well. He's a massive threat on set pieces, and I think that's really poor for me. You know, giving him that much space, he's more than capable of getting that ball over the wall and top corner, or you know, he only really had to hit it well to score. But I don't want to carry on rambling about that. I'm going to move on from that anyway. But we get ourselves the second goal. I mean, the equaliser is just an absolutely unbelievable last 4 minutes of the game. Absolutely incredible stuff. You know, I've calmed down now, but I couldn't breathe for about 30 minutes after the game. It was just unbelievable what we saw. You know, the ball comes into the box. Fantastic save off David Raya, off Kemal Roof. Then the follow-up save was even better. And then the third one, which Kemal Roof scores from, he almost saves that as well. I was thinking, has that gone in? It's gone in, and I think, wow, just keep calm. Keep calm. We've got 3 minutes to have a go at this. The lads did exactly that. You know, I think everyone's going wild around them. Get it in the box. Hoof it. Get a strike. Just shoot from anywhere. You might score. But the lads just kept calm. Stayed with that mentality. Patient stuff. One touch, two touch. See where the spaces open up. And the third goal, space opens up for Pablo Hernandez. You can't leave Pablo Hernandez that much space on the right hand side. He will always get the ball into the box, and he will always find someone. He finds Kemal Roof, and what a header. What a header that is as well. It's unstoppable. Fantastic header. Two brilliant goals off Kemal Roof. One's a complete poacher's goal. The other's a fantastic finish, fantastic bit of movement, and it's just absolutely outstanding to see. You know, we had a quiet game up to that moment, but he comes alive in those key moments. Like Pablo Hernandez. Pablo Hernandez didn't have his best games. yesterday for me. He comes alive at the key moments, and that's when you can tell a top player. Same as Kemar, quiet game overall, but he come alive at the two key moments, and that made it a fantastic performance for me off Kemar. He kept going, he kept believing, and those last 4 minutes, it was just absolutely unbelievable. But it's that spirit really that's going to make a real difference this season. Those two moments, Villa, Blackburn, that fighting spirit, it just shows how much the team believes in the system. With 2-3 minutes together, the temptation would be just to throw the ball in the box all the time or have a shot from distance, pile everyone forward, but we just kept doing the same things we do absolutely every game. The mentality, the philosophy never changes, and that's how much belief this team has in Marcelo Bielsa. And what really impressed me as well was I saw Marcelo Bielsa, when we got that third goal, all he was interested was getting us back into our positions for those last sort of 30 seconds. He was bollocking, to be honest, with half the team for not celebrating too much and not sort of focusing for those last sort of 30 seconds. We saw it out, and it's just absolutely brilliant. And all in all, I have to say, I think we deserved the win. I think you have to look at the game all in all. When we went 2-1 down, I was thinking, how on earth were we 2-1 down? They only really had 2 shots. Blackburn have real notes. I'm not going to have a go at Blackburn. They set up really well. They came with a game plan, like they did at Eatwood Park, and it almost very nearly worked again for them. They're going to be a real dark horse this season, I think. I really do. I think they're going to be top 10 at least for me. Here you look at Bradley Dack, a fantastic player, Bradley Dack. Someone I would love it to see at Leeds United as a Sami Saï's replacement. It's not realistic though, that's just sort of an aspiration. He will be a Premier League player next season with or without Blackburn for me. That's my personal opinion. Seems similar to James Maddison. But yeah, we definitely deserved the win all in all. Second half we weren't at our best, but we came alive at the key moments as we have done all season. Individuals or as a team, we came alive at the key moments. A man of the match for me. It's a tough one for man of the match, but it's got to be one of the two centre-backs for me. It's got to be either Calvin Phillips or Pontus Jansson. I thought both were absolutely outstanding yesterday. I'm going to go for Calvin Phillips. I think Calvin Phillips, you have to consider he's still playing out of position, but he's just so intelligent. He used the ball really well. He took the ball out of the back. He started moves in that first half. He just completely bullied Danny Graham, I felt. I think Pontus would have to be a solid contender as well. I thought both were absolutely outstanding from start to finish yesterday. And they were unlucky to concede 2 goals. One's come off a penalty and one's come off a free kick from distance. It's one of those things. Nothing really. They created nothing in open play that I can think of. So I have to say absolutely outstanding from Calvin Phillips and Pontus Jansson. But I have to go Calvin Phillips overall as man of the match. We're also going to get in a preview for the Hull game as well. And this is a massive game, this Hull game. Hull, at the start of the season when we played them in September and we got the win, 1-0, Tyler Roberts shot from distance. I thought looked absolutely awful. I'll be honest with you, I thought Hull looked poor. We weren't at our best that day, but we still were by far the better team, even when we weren't at our best. I don't think Hull created a chance in that game. But at the minute, they're in a real team in form, a real team inside the resurgence, they've really come back into the sort of their own. They're showing a lot of attacking threat. I think it's 4 wins out of 5, 6 unbeaten, played some really good teams as well. Got a really good win at Preston. It's a place that's really tough to go, Deepdale. And it's a really good win that. So it's not going to be an easy game at all. For me, you look at that front 4 as well. Jackson Irvine isn't actually available for this game, so that's a positive for me. He's got 2 at Preston on yesterday. But you look at the wing options. Kamil Grzycki on one side, Jared Bowen on the other, and Fraser Campbell through the middle. That's a really threatening sort of front 3, front 4 that for me. I'm not sure who's going to play in the sort of 10 role for the whole game with Jackson Irvine unavailable, but that's a team with real threat. You've got 2 wings who are really cut inside, can shoot from distance, can cross the ball, can be a real threat, can really cause our fullbacks problems. And Fraser Campbell is someone who's scored quite a couple of goals against us that I can remember. Always good for a goal. He's got that little bit of pace, and he's got a little bit older now, but he's got really aware experience, knows where to sort of move from that lot, can get into these sort of goal scoring positions really well. He's a good player for me. He's a good lone striker. He's a top player, and it's going to be a real tough game from that point of view. They're in form. Nigel Adkins, I think he's about a year into the job. He's starting to get into play the way he wants them to play. I think I've not seen loads of them. I saw a little bit more of them against Swansea when they won 3-2. They look a little bit like his Southampton side. Play good football. Sort of very sort of the individuals are allowed to express themselves in sort of the attacking positions, which will cause us problems. But the team I'd go with anyway, I think we can cope with this. I think the spirit we've shown the last 2 games, played 2 really good teams, won the game, scored goals, looked solid, even though we conceded, I don't know how we conceded 4 goals in the last 2 games, if I'm being honest. I think it's incredible really, but it sometimes happens, shots from distance go in, we've made a couple of keeper errors, etc. It's one of those, but I think we look good at the back at the minute. I think we're really looking balanced, and I think the whole team looks balanced. So I think we can cope with it, but I would make a few changes. I think rotation is key now. We've used a lot of energy these last 2 or 3 days. So I'd still go Bailey Peacock-Farrell. I want Bailey Peacock-Farrell to get a few more chances just to prove himself. January window's coming up. He deserves, for what he's done earlier on in the season, some of the saves he's made, I think it'd be a bit of an insult to drop Bailey Peacock-Farrell. So I would keep him in the team, definitely. Right back for me, I'd go Jamie Shackleton. I think Luke Ayling probably does need to rest. He's just come back from injury, 2 games in 3 days. Probably does need to rest on this one. Pontus, KP, centre-backs. Barry Douglas on the left. Holding midfield, I've got to go Adam Forshaw. Right-hand side, I'm going to go with Ezjan Alioski. Centre mids, Pablo Hernandez, Matthias Klick. Left-hand side, I'm going to go Jack Clark. I think Jack Clark deserves a start. Jack Harrison's played the last couple of games. I still don't think he's fully used to the system. He was a lot better yesterday. He made that first goal happen. But I think Jack Clark on that left-hand side can be unplayable at times. I think he really does suit that left-hand side. And through the middle, Kemal Roof. So I go for 2 changes. One at right back, one on the wings. And I think that really will sort of get a little bit more energy. We used a lot of energy these last 2 or 3 days. So I think rotation is important for me. But it's a game I'm confident we can win. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be 2 teams playing attacking football. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's another 3-2. But I definitely wouldn't underestimate this whole side. They play good football. They have tried to all season, but they haven't had quite had that quality or confidence at the start of the season. But I think now they have got a little bit more about them than they did at the start of the season. They're still conceding a lot of goals. Conceded 2 against Swansea. Conceded yesterday. So they're not quite as solid at the back as probably they should be. I think we can have a go at that back 4, but it's going to be a tough game nonetheless. Make sure you let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this whole game, what your thoughts were on yesterday's game. Check out Conor and Joe's reviews of the game, and I'll do my player ratings today as well in the next couple of minutes. I've been Oscar Marriott. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you later.